USB charging ports, not USB-C, not iPhone, is that it looks the same. It actually looks the same in the sense that it has one regular pattern, 5 legs at the back. Anything other than that is just there to scare people who are not used to fixing charging ports. This is a Vivo phone. Vivo most times run their charging port on a flex, which makes it most times very difficult for inexperienced engineers to fix. But if you come across this type of charging port, you shouldn't panic at all. Yes. First of all, the things you check out is the positive and the negative legs, which is the first and the last leg. Yes, the first and the last leg. And what you check out for again, that is the ground and the charging trace. Everybody that knows how to fix phone knows that almost every part of the board is made up of the ground. So if you happen to see a component, it's either a ground and what it's working for. If it's an IC, you see the ground and what it stands for. Say for instance, you're working on a charging port. What you're going to look out for is the ground and the charging trace. At this point of this charging port, the right is the ground, while the left is the charging point. Well, it looks like it has been chopped off. So you can take ground from anywhere, but you cannot take the charging from anywhere. You can't just take it from any angle. So you must look at the point at which it started from. And at the point at which it started from is where you can categorize it to be the charging terrain or the charging trace, which is connected directly to the board. But mostly it's found around the charging port. So all those components around the charging port is where you can find it and trace it down to that place, and it will start working. It doesn't matter the type of charging port you use to fix a phone. What matters is where are you taking the charging and the ground from. Yes, if you take your ground from the right source and your charging points from the right source, no matter the type of charging port you are using, is going to work. I can remember the first time I came across a BlackBerry charging port. It was really tough. I fixed it. It was supposed to work. But the charging port exactly, everybody that knows BlackBerry charging port knows it's upside down. Compared, the ground is at the left, the charging trace is at the right, while the regular one is alternated. So after fixing it, the stuff did not work. I kept wondering what's the problem. That's where experience comes into play. So if you don't have such experience, you find yourself limping on one thing over and over and over. In the end, you might not even find the solution to what you are looking for. But if you are experienced, once you look at it, you know what you should do. There are actually different type of charging ports. Yes, this one is one of them. This one usually works for ITEL small phones. Yes, there is one we call P5 and P5 flat. That one usually works for mostly Android downboard. But you can use this if after considering the environment you don't have a choice, or let me say you don't have alternative to it. That is when you can use it. You can still use a flat charging port if after checking around there is no alternative to it. Like what happened during the lockdown, then there was this phone they brought to me, charging port. And during the lockdown, very few offices were opening, and you can't just get what you want. So I decided to check if I can get, but I couldn't. But I do have to alternate it. When you alternate it, you trace it on alternatively. Yes, trace it alternatively. And when you trace it alternatively, you're able to get the right thing you are looking for. You'll be able to get it right. People see it as very difficult thing to do, but it shouldn't be very difficult for you. If you have any question about charging ports, just drop it down. For charging ports, we are professionals. Yeah, we are not scared of anything around it. Bring it Type C. The difference between this one and the Type C charging ports is that one has lots of legs. It has lots of legs. What also about charging ports, what you have there is legs. It has lots of legs. What also about charging ports, what you have there is the ground, the charging trace, the USB media. That's the one you use when you plug a system to it. It connects to the system. The neutral and the ground. That is when you get the full charging port complete. If you're able to get all these things, even if the place you are trying to attach the charging port is no longer there, you can easily place it and it will work. That is why you see most of my videos I can even use USB cord to take a place of a charging port. As you see some fans, you see some radios, I will use USB cord on it. This is because we are able to know the ground and the charging trace, the red and the black. The red and the black makes up every component of electricity, and you knowing where to put the red and knowing where to put the blacks gives you current. That constitutes plus and minus. Don't forget, plus and plus, minus and minus. Yes, just like this charging port, you cannot take a plus part of the charging port and put it on the minus. It will not work. That is when you plug it on the phone and you see that the charging port, the charger light goes off. The charger light goes off because you are connecting a plus to a minus and a minus to plus. That's why I encourage many people, anybody that is using a device, that is fixing a device, you try as much as possible to know how to use the meter. The meter will tell you this is a plus point and this is a minus point. You cannot carry a plus point and put it on a minus point. It's not going to work. Most devices, if you try it, unplug it, it will explode. The stuff will catch fire. And once that happened to me one time, I was very pissed with myself. I was given a charging port to fix, the battery to connect on a power bank. And it was not boldly written, so I was supposed to trace it first to fix, the battery to connect on a power bank. And it was not boldly written, so I was supposed to trace it first. So with the way that the stuff is, I was actually assuming. That's one thing in engineering. Please don't assume. Assumption can take you to where you never expect. I'm telling you the fact. You don't assume anything. Just take it for it. If you know you want to do it, just remove laziness and trace the point. So I didn't trace it, so I just have to connect it. After connecting it, behold, just power bank now with many batteries. Immediately the stuff caught fire and the board got burnt. There was nothing I can tell the owner than to say sorry, I never knew it. And that was the end of that customer. I never